I think Tim's right, and there's a huge need. I often find when we run courses that when people don't ask questions, I often think it's because their head's exploded and they're just so busy listening that they haven't got to the stage. And I often think that in 2 months after they've taken what they've learned, gone back to their coaching, that they would go, okay, now I got a question. And that's where I think these workshops and seminars would be really useful for people. I'd really like people to see coaching as an ongoing thing. I really would prefer that people didn't think, okay, I've done this, that's all I need. Because I know in my experience, the longer I've coached, the more I realise I don't know much. I think I went through a stage where I actually thought I knew a bit, but as I've gone on, I think, gosh, there is so much I don't know, and I'd really like people to have that constant education.
To make it a little bit clearer for people who don't analyse it as much as you and I do, would it be better to have the level 2 basic club coach level 2 and then the level 2 advanced specific level 3, and then people see what I'm doing 1, I'm doing 2.
We did discuss that, and the issue with that is about people who are already level 3. That's where the issue comes in. It's managing the levels as they are. So if we discussed that on Tuesday, so if we have 2 parts to level 2, then if you're a level 2 at the moment, level 2 club coach, that's cool. Your next movement will be down here to the level 2 advanced. We need the marketing people to give them groovy names. I'm no good at that. So then that would manage that, and then you come into level 3. So we did discuss that, John, but it's very tricky. If we start changing that, then we've got people who are level 3, and we decided the simplest way was to make level 2 part A and part B, because we can move these people easily down into part B. As I say, we need the marketing department. I'm sure they'll come up with some groovy name rather than basic and advanced, which was pretty basic. Sorry.
From a practical point of view, I ordered on my level 1 ATFCA in 2008, I think.
Yep. So that made you level 2 club coach.
Maybe level 2 club coach. And so then I was thinking, well, I'd like to do something more distance running specific.
Yep.
Whether it be the recreational running or the events.
Middle and long.
Yeah, middle
yep.
and long type of thing. And obviously with the change in the last few years, everything's been developed and
yep.
so forth. And when can we expect that we can actually kind of continue on? Because I kind of feel like there's training that I would like to have done
yep.
the last 2 years that I haven't bothered with because the framework is still a little bit up in the
Yeah.
air.
Well, I would hope that by February 2013 we're really starting to roll out. So the very first thing we would roll out would be the level 2 event specifics. This level 1 we're waiting for Sports Commissioner Writing Community Coach, which will be the starting point for all sports. So that's something that's sort of happening without us expending too much effort. So that's cool. Level 2 club coach. I've just tweaked it with my experience with it. So I'm fairly happy with that. I think CAC were satisfied with that. So this would be the next thing that we would roll out, and I would really hope by February 2013 that they were all to be rolled out. I want to make the rollout process quite organised. We want to get the presenters and assessors in to us so we can explain to people, this is the course, this is what it looks like, this is its ethos, this is how we want it to look. That's my cheeseburger. So then everyone they can go, and hopefully it'll be a consistent educational experience across the country.
So just to back that up, the National Participation Plan, which is the dirty great big task I had to do when I first started in the office 9.5 weeks ago, was to outline exactly what kind of timeframes are included in the coaching pathway, and we've said that by June 30, 2013, we are very, very functional in this space across the country. Levels 1, 2 and 3, we're moving here. 4 and 5, the issue at the moment, and we're talking about it with the Sports Commission, is because we're looking at exactly what these courses look like. We're a bit hesitant to move to 4 and 5 till we know what 3 looks like. So the idea is by June next year, this is completely operational, and then 4 and 5 grows off the back of what we learn from this new 1, 2 and 3 in that space. Yeah. So coaches who are crying out for level 4, I understand that completely. It's a process really of just allowing us to get this bit really right, and then we go this way from June next year for 4 and 5.
And in your honest opinion, has it worked so far?
It has given us a great base to work from. And the thing I've learnt from it, I can see, is that you can write a course, but you don't know whether it's going to work until you're halfway through delivering it. So it's given us a great base to work from. It's given me an understanding about that when we write the course, we need to pilot it, we need to get some crash test dummies in who are willing to give up their weekend, and we need to go through that course and get their feedback. Yeah, I can see that it's
more, and historically since the changeover to now, I think that has worked.
Transition from when ATFCA ran the coaching framework.
Is it working? I mean, I haven't seen what's been going on, so I'm just asking you what you think.
Well, from a personal point of view, I did level 2 ATFCA, and I was quite disappointed with content. I think it was on a sheet that was typed up and put through a photocopy. Now we've got, I think the new courses are a lot more up to date and heaps better.
I think the advantage, I agree with John, and I think the advantage, why that has happened was because when it was delivered by an ATFCA branch, that was really tough. Those people, it wasn't their job to deliver courses. They so often had jobs, and this was something that was loaded on top of them. So I've come from Athletics Victoria. I was the education manager at Athletics Victoria. So for me to manage the courses, that was my job. So I had time, I had resources, and I think that's been the advantage. And if I stuffed up, that's me stuffing up my job. So I think, yes, it's been beneficial in that way, because the people now who are facilitating, that's their job, that's what they're getting paid for. They don't have to try and do it as a secondary to having a job, which was tough. Yeah. So yes, I think that's been advantageous.
Numbers-wise, have you seen a drop-off or an increase?
In accredited coaches?
Normal increase, or statistically, what have you seen?
So I don't know what the coach numbers was. Do you, before the change?
We were talking somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 nationally at the time, I believe, with the ATFCA's national registration. Now, I don't know whether that figure includes all coaches, including those perhaps who were on the database but weren't financially active at that stage. At the moment, we have 3,300 and some odd active registered financial coaches, with another 1,000 on top of that who have completed accreditation, been accredited, perhaps aren't financial at the moment. Yeah. So the numbers are certainly within the same sort of ballpark. I think the key thing though is making sure that that we've got lots and lots of people who are coaching in our sport out there that we don't currently have the mechanisms to count. We've got loads of teachers who coach in our sport in schools all the time every year, and I think we've got to find new ways to work with our school sport bodies to make sure that coaches feel like they can come to the sport to get value add to their knowledge, because they're doing our job, and we've got to be able to add to what schools are doing, because that's such an enormous nursery for future talent for us. We've recognised Little Athletics, there's 100,000 kids there. School is another key market for us. Recreational runners is another important area for us going forward, because we've got 600,000 people we know at any given time that are part of that recreational running space. Those people wanted access to coaching, or better yet, to be coaches. We've got to find a way to create categories for those people to be involved in our sport. So I just think at the moment perhaps our horizon is a little narrow, but we're working on that too.
And for the last 3 years I've run a level 2 at La Trobe Uni for their 4th year students, and this year I've noticed a large increase in those number of students who have taken up the accreditation option. So I don't know whether that's change, and it's going to take a while, but yeah, this time there's been a huge increase, where before we might have got, out of 90, I might have got 10 students who saw the benefit in paying their fees to be accredited. Now, they only got the offer last Friday, and we've already had 15 have come in that period. So that's the sort of thing I'm keen to tap into, and as Tim says, teachers. Yeah, and that's where I think level 2 club coach is a very good fit for teachers. Gives them a grounding in a little bit of everything, which is, as a PE teacher, what you need.
Gary, we've got 395 registered AA coaches this year in WA.
Is that up or down, or whether that's a few years back?
Well, we haven't taken into account what we've done this year. We've had about 30 level 1 coaches go through already with what we've delivered, and we've got 2 more planned with approximately 10, 15 on each of those courses. So that's just level 1, and we're waiting to go with a level 2. So, you know, if we hit 100 new coaches this year, that's a significant increase on previous years.
And the feedback from the last 2 level 1s that John and Jane ran has been incredibly positive. So, and that's again, I see a change with that as well. We ran a level 1 in September 2010, and there was a feeling then that we didn't meet people's expectations. They expected an ITC, they thought they were going to get purely event specific, and as we've worked through that and made sure that people are clear about what level 1 looks like, we've seen our feedback turn as well and people start to appreciate what level 1 can offer them. And again, cultural change is hard, but I can see that we need to be, and that's why I'm keen with the modules, because it's really clear that people's need, their expectations, they need to understand what a course looks like before they come. People are a lot happier, I think, if they say, yes, I can see that's what I'm getting. So again, I think that's just slowly making changes.
Can't be all the questions. No one's ever that quiet after only 40 minutes.
Anything else? No abuse? No?
We're all friends. You want some?
I've had enough.
Find some.
No, thanks very much, Jill and Tim, for enlightening us on what we've got ahead, and I'm sure things are looking really positive as far as coaching, certainly in WA. I think we're really hitting the nail on the head now as to what people want, and our job is now to get out there and to deliver and make these coaches feel valued in our community out there. So I'm hoping to do a lot more of these gatherings, seminars, or relaxed breakfasts, whatever you'd like to call it. I've got a sheet here with just a few, if you could just take a few minutes to complete it, about what you might like for the next one. And I've already surveyed the 395. We're actually going to put this on the Athletics WA website for those coaches that couldn't make it this morning. So I'm hoping that might, might help with the general coach education out there. So if I can, provide, I know some of you want program planning, some of you want more about strength and conditioning. We're hoping the week of the Australian Junior Championships in March, we're going to have around 8 to 10 specialist clinics where the coaches coming over are level 4, level 5. We were hoping that maybe Sally's coach might be over to do a session for us. So anyway, watch this space, I'll keep in touch and we'll see what transpires. But Athletics Australia are certainly working with ATFCA, and I'm certainly working with ATFCA on a local basis to try and work together, so we're not duplicating and that we're drawing everyone together. So it's good that everyone's here and you're all chatting, and welcome to stay and finish off a all that cold egg. I'll hand out the sheets anyway, but thanks very much.
Thanks. I just wanted to say, in finishing off, I genuinely appreciate feedback, so please email me or phone me. Yeah, I can see the more I hear from people outside, the more I understand what's going on, the more we can make our changes really meaningful. So please feel free to contact me anytime. Thanks.
Thank you.